Hello, beautiful Scorpios. These are going to be your messages for the next 2 or 3 months, starting in July. If these messages don't make sense to you at the beginning of July, listen to it at the end of July, August, or maybe even beginning of September. Just like with the other signs, I ask Spirit for a healing stone for you or for a stone, and you got the citrine. And citrine is yellow. It represents prosperity. So I would suggest that you look up what citrine stone means. But it is a stone. What I'm getting here is the stone of prosperity. So not only is this prosperity in money and finances, to me it feels prosperity on all levels. Relationship in particular, financial, yes, but also health, friendships, overall prosperity, abundance. I'm supposed to talk about the absorption. Okay. This is some information that I'm receiving from Spirit about stones. I'm not very versed in knowledge when it comes to stones. I know the basic stuff. But I have been talked to every single time I talk about a stone, how some stones have the ability to absorb certain frequencies, not only to give healing and give us certain frequencies that help, but also to absorb certain frequencies. And what I'm being asked to say, and I don't know if it's true, I trust it's true, that citrine in particular will absorb a lot of stagnating energies or frequencies that have to do with the idea of lack, particularly lack of self-worth. So if you are someone who has been struggling with lack of self-worth for quite some time, then this would be a phenomenal, fantastic stone for you to carry over the next 2 to 3 months, particularly because I feel many of you are you have the death card, so that's transformation. Either you are going through transformation right now, you have been going through transformation for quite some time, or in a very short order, a situation in your life or a certain way of you looking at things will begin to be transformed. So I'll talk about the death card in just a moment. The number 10 was also being shown to me, and that to me is very symbolic of having come to an end of a cycle. And for some of you, when you hear me say this, you're like, hallelujah, lady. I don't blame you. And particularly if you have been struggling with any sort of lack, L-A-C-K, lack of finances or beliefs around lack of finances, lack around money, or scarcity around money, scarcity around relationships, scarcity around you being lovable or you being worthy. You guys know what I'm talking about. Every single human has experienced it at some point. But if this is something that has been plaguing you for quite some time, then there's a pretty good chance that you will experience some phenomenal breakthroughs over the next, I want to say 2 to 4 months. So certainly before the end of this year. Now, your birthday is in October. So interestingly, July, August, September. So that's 3 months. 4 months brings us to October. So it looks like by the time you reach your birthday month, those significant changes will become, for majority of you, will become apparent to you. What may this look like? For one, it will look like this. You will have a brand new outlook on life. The way you see yourself is going to shift, or is already shifting. The way you see other people is going to shift. The way you look at the world, the way you connect with nature, the way you look at programs on television, the way you feed yourself, whether it's through what you hear, what you see, or the food that you ingest in your body. There is significant changes happening for every one of us, but particularly for many of you from the sign of Scorpio. And those changes are significant, so they're not a small thing. So the number 10, and actually, number 10 is October. So hey, there's a coincidence right there. I'm also being shown a symbol, which to me, I'm seeing a tree being pruned, and to me that's sign of cleanup. So you have been cleaning house for quite some time. You have been pruning the tree. And when trees are pruned, they are pruned in order to get rid of the dead leaves and the dead branches so that the nutrients can go to branches and leaves that are still alive and that are ready to prosper, that the energy does not go to waste, so to speak. So this is very symbolic of you eliminating unwanted things from your life, including your diet, not only physical diet as in food, but also mental diet, which is what you feed yourself in terms of your thoughts. So let me move on with the first card. This is very exciting. The first card you have is the card of beaver. And this is alchemic symbol for water. So this is about emotions. And the beaver, as you guys know, is a very hard-working animal. They're extraordinarily skilled with their teeth. They build a dam. They're very what's the word I want to use, please? They're very community oriented. But more than anything, what stands out for me with this card is that this beaver is coming. He's not facing the dark forest. He's facing away from the dark forest, which tells me that many of you have been working really hard in order to come out of your shadows. So if you're deep down in forest, sometimes it can be very difficult to see because, well, all you're seeing is trees. You can't see anything else. And this is representative of your shortcomings, of your limitations, of your thoughts or negative thoughts, negative beliefs. And so you've been working on this for quite some time, but why is it coming up right now? Number one is to congratulate you that your hard work is starting to pay off. And for some of you, you may already have begun to see this. And for some of you, you've begun to see this in the month of May. So May is being connected. For others of you, this will become very apparent. And I will say this, if you have been consciously putting an effort to be conscious of your limiting beliefs, chances are by being conscious, you have made some significant changes, but by making different choices just by being conscious. And most of us walk around unconscious. There's a reason why they say that we only use 5 or 10% of our mind. It's not that we only use 5 or 10%. It's that we are aware of 5 or 10% of the potential of our mind. The rest of it we're not aware, because it's we can't be a potential unless if we are not aware of our potential. I think you guys get it. So this beaver symbolizes a lot of hard work that has been done, but also that you will continue to do. And this is emotional. So working emotionally, working on your emotional limitations, and by addressing them, and keep at it. Mental transformation, really what this is about. And most of the other signs that I've done the messages for so far, and I've done 6, the message seems to be pretty consistent. We are all moving through a threshold, so to speak, that is, on one side of the threshold we have limited beliefs. On the other side of the threshold, we have freedom from those limited beliefs. But there is this space in between where we are, this is one space, this is the other, this is limitations, this is freedom of limitations. And we have to go through this threshold. And this threshold can feel sometimes very daunting, because it means that you have to face your limitations in order to get through them, to move past them. And there was a phrase that I received from Spirit not that long ago, and this phrase was something like this: in order to see the light, you have to walk through your darkness, or walk through your darkness to see the light. Just like with the fear, in order to deal with the fear, one has to face a fear. Putting a fear aside or pretending it's not there or trying to get away from it isn't going to work. It's always going to be there. So that's the analogy that's being shown here. All right, let's move to the next set of cards. You have the Death card with the Magician, and that is actually how it landed. And when I saw this, I went, yes. So what this is telling me is that you have been going through transformation. You are going through transformation. Something is transforming in your life, and as a result, you are facing a brand new beginning. Okay? Is that how I want to say it? Yes, so it's an end of one situation and beginning of a new situation. This doesn't have to be necessarily a situation. This could be an end of one way of being, one way of thinking, and a beginning of a new way of thinking, which our thoughts create our reality. I also want to say, with this magician, you are more than ready for your newfound freedom, whatever freedom means to you. Freedom, fortunately, most of us, not everyone, but most of us live in an environment that is free. We're not locked up unless, someone is in prison, but that's a whole different story. We walk around generally and we are free. We can think what we want. We can pretty much do what we want with certain limits, obviously, within the law. But a lot of us, even though we are free, we are still not feeling free, because freedom is a frame of mind. Majority of the time, it's frame of mind. So when I say you are more than ready to have this freedom, to experience this freedom, this could be freedom on a financial level. This could be freedom on an emotional level. This could be freedom on relationship level. This could be freedom on any sort of level that has to do with you feeling free in some area of your life. And again, I want to say this freedom, this newfound freedom, does not come out of blue. You have been working hard at it. And for many of you, for years, you've been scratching the surface to finally get to the bottom of what has been limiting you. And, you're a human being, I'm a human being, we all have limitations. Part of being in a 3D existence is to experience limitations, but a lot of the limitations that we have are limitations that we hold within ourselves in terms of what we think. So it's in the mind. So fantastic news here. Let me just see. I want to tune in and I want to see if there's any specific examples. For some of you, you are ready to turn a new leaf when it comes to your belief system. So that's obvious, but show me some particular examples, please. Some of you are moving on. So part of your transformation, you might have realized that wherever you are is no longer where you want to be. And as a result of that awareness, you're wanting to create a brand new beginning. So this may symbolize you actually moving, whether it's moving to a new home, moving to a new work environment, moving from one way of expressing yourself to another, particularly in terms of your career, moving away from home and moving on your own, moving from being living by yourself to being with a partner. For some of you, this is going to involve move. Let me just see if there's anything else. For others of you, thank you. This is about freedom around being open. So if you have been closed off, if your heart has been closed off, particularly to being loved, to being abundant, to feeling, you guys get it. If your heart has been blocked because you've been hurt in the past, that's why we block our hearts. Your hard work has allowed you to become a lot more open than you used to be. And as a result of your openness, or as a result of that opening, the universe is now showering you with gifts. So you are ready to receive. Remember, when we are closed off because we're protecting ourselves, we can want all the things that we want, but the universe has a very difficult time trying to cram it through closed doors. Try walking through a closed door. It's pretty difficult. Not only that, generally it would hurt. So, the universe can only give us what we want when we are open to receiving. And if you have been hurt, and if you have blocked yourself from getting hurt, you've also have blocked yourself a lot from receiving. And I feel, and that's where the mental transformation comes from. It's whatever beliefs you have around being loved, around being worthy, around being good enough, around being special, around being precious, around whatever you think that limits you. That mental transformation is key here. And transformation and death card, to me, it's pretty much the same thing. The other thing I want to say is my attention is drawn to the number here. The number 9 represents to me letting go. It's letting go of attachments, letting go of things that we have outlived, our conditioning, again, our belief system, our situations, our relationships, our status, whatever it may be. And as a result of letting go of those attachments, or as a result of letting go, we are creating the number 4, which to me always symbolizes, or in this case symbolizes, a brand new foundation. So you are in the process of you are in the process of building a brand new foundation for yourself, which is in here for me, it's about your foundation in terms of your emotional foundation, which is rooted in your beliefs. So for many of you, you're changing your beliefs. And to that I say, yes. So that's the 2 cards. The other set of cards you have is 2 of Cups in reverse and King of Swords. So right away, what I hear about these 2 cards, and that's how they landed, is stability, freedom and stability, freedom and stability. So stability here is the mental stability. This King of Swords is very much in control of his thoughts. His thoughts are not in control of him. He is, or she is, in control of his thoughts. Phenomenal. 5 of Cups in reverse is letting go of poverty conditioning, letting go of lack, letting go of disappointment that has been holding you back, letting go of the I can't, I won't, I'm not worthy. You guys get it. Letting go of, mourning over spilled milk. That's how I'm going to leave it. So freedom and stability, stability in the mind and freedom in your emotions, being able to feel free to love, to receive, to experience. Again, when we are blocked off because we're trying to protect ourselves, we are not free to experience and take chances in life. That's just the way it is. Is there anything else I want to say about these 2 cards? Don't be impatient. It's not going to serve you. Now, that's pretty standard. We already know that being impatient doesn't serve anybody. But I feel like you've been running a marathon and you're bloody tired and you have the last mile to go. And you've heard this phrase, the last 10 pounds is the hardest to lose. The last mile is the hardest to run. You guys get it, right? So if you are starting to get impatient, when is this going to happen? Do yourself a favor and try to detach yourself from the outcome. Focus on the process, because the process is what will ensure your outcome. If you're thinking when is because you're anxious about the when, because you don't truly believe the when is going to happen. And I'm getting ringing in my ear. For some of you, you may have ringing in your ear, but what I was also getting is your frequency is expanding. Your frequency is rising. So your frequency body, your vibration is being heightened. And when that happens, when your vibrations, how do I say it, please? When the level of your vibration rises, it permanently shifts your entire being in terms of your thoughts, in terms of your beliefs, in terms of your emotions, okay? When this happens, it is inevitable that your life is going to reflect that shift, because you're a being, you're a vibrational being, and whatever you vibrate, you attract to you. So when your vibration begins to permanently change, how? By changing your beliefs, by looking at your thoughts, by changing your thoughts, the way you think about yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you look at things. When you begin to change and shift your frequency by all these things that I just mentioned, your life will begin to have a ripple effect. It'll have a ripple effect on your life, which means it is only a matter of time before you see the significance of your vibrational change in your physical life. So saying when isn't helpful. It's I always say, when is none of your bloody business. Your business is to take care of being in the now and taking care of the process and being mindful of where you're at any given moment and where you are emotionally. So if you are stressed, trying to figure out when, you're not being present. You are being in the future and you are being fearful about your future. You're not trusting that it's going to happen or somehow that you're going to miss it. I received a message for a client actually a couple of days ago, and I thought it was brilliant. It was so simple, but it was brilliant. And the message was, don't be afraid of what is already yours. So if you are afraid of something and you are fearful that's not going to happen, then it isn't yours yet. And it's not yours because you're not embodying it yet. You're not being it yet. You're not believing in it yet. And how to embody it, whatever it is that you want, become that person now that has it. In other words, if you want to be in a relationship right now, imagine what it would feel like to be in a loving relationship and be that person now. If you feel that a loving relationship would make you happy, it would make you more relaxed, then you have to create that experience for you right now in order to attract a relationship for you. I think you guys get the picture. I don't want to go on that too much. And last but not least, being mentors and alienness came up. So notice there's quite a few sevens here. 7 is very symbolic. To me, 7 is symbolic. It's a very high vibrational number for me. They all are, but 7 to me represents enlightenment. For some of you, this is a change around being a light worker or a healer. Whether you are a mentor to somebody or you want to be a mentor, whether you are wanting to be a healer, moving on to being a healer. I'm going to rephrase. You already are a healer. You're just moving into expressing your healing abilities, because every single human is a healer. We all have ability to heal. The only difference is some people don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, you can't embody it. It's that simple. And you don't believe it because of our limitations. So for many of you, this is around moving towards something that's much more aligned with your soul. And that would be what you do for a living in terms of work. So you might be moving into being a mentor, to being a counselor, to being a Reiki healer, to being a teacher of some sort. Doesn't have to be necessarily under the spiritual umbrella. You could be an addictions counselor, and obviously that can be spiritual. But you can be working in a regular 3D world, and you could be mentoring people. You could be working in an environment and people just come to you and they ask you for guidance. That's also being a healer. So that's one message for you. The other message is alienness. And this is for those of you who have felt alone, who have felt that you were different. And if you have felt this way most of your life, chances are pretty darn high that you are one of those light workers or light bearers or healers. And your alienness is going to transform now into you being a full-fledged healer. I don't think I ever said that before, full-fledged healer. Some of you are already doing this, and your removal of your limitations or your shift of frequency is going to allow you to embody more of your healing abilities, and therefore your ability to affect healing on another will be amplified. And then I'm seeing the sun. So as you guys know, sun is illumination. Sun is a fantastic omen. It is a brand new day. It's a brand new beginning. When the sun is out, everybody feels so much happier. Everybody has, well, not everybody, but people have a smile on their face. You want to do things. Things are bright. When sun is out, you can see things that previously before you were not able to see. So there's a lot of illumination that's happening over the next little while. And last but not least, you have the world. If that isn't a culmination, then I don't know what is. And I'm going to leave it with that. Okay, it's the world, as you guys know, is an end of one era, beginning of another. It, for some of you, it does represent a move. For some of you, it represents travel. But to me, more than anything, it represents a significant change in your life circumstances and having come out of one circumstance and moving into something new. In other words, new ending. There's an ending and there's a brand new beginning. You're at the brand new beginning right now. Okay? And I think that's what I want to leave with you. I hope this was helpful. Again, if it doesn't make sense to you at the beginning of July, do listen to it in the next several weeks. I promise this. If this is meant for you, you're going to hear it. For private sessions to help you figure out your own private journey, personal journey, that information is down below. You guys know how to find me. And I think that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. Without you, I wouldn't do this, and I absolutely love what I do. So my heart goes out to you. Many blessings to you. Have yourself a wonderful month of July. I will see you again in August. And good luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.